Alright, what's up guys? JR here. It's late, 3:08 in the morning. It's hot in my room. This is my second attempt at making this video. First attempt, I wouldn't really call it a rant, but I started rambling. I don't have notes. This is just something that I want to talk about, and I think some of you all may be able to gain something from this. So this is my own little soapbox. I always appreciate it when Mac does soapboxes, so I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to do my own soapbox. Late night special. We're gonna talk about trading psychology, and in particular we're gonna talk about losing trades and how you need to handle them, how you need to be thinking, and yeah, how you bounce back from it. So first, let me start off by showing you this quick video. I recorded a trade earlier today. Chose not to upload it because it didn't do what I wanted it to do. The main reason why I even attempted to record the trade is because I thought I was going to get an opportunity to add on right here. Initially entered right here on the failed second entry long, and then when we had this double bottom bullish reversal bar, we ticked up and turned back down. I said, okay, let me start recording because I may be able to add on right here. Didn't get to add on. The trade still worked out, but chose not to upload it because you've seen this before. I don't need to keep uploading videos of the same things over and over again. I mean, if you guys want me to, just drop a comment down below and I'll do it, but I try to diversify my content every now and then when I can, and this video is boring. You've seen the setup before. It's a failed second entry long combined with a second entry short, and the main reason why I like this trade is because the bias and everything had been down all day long. We had a smaller channel in between. You get a break and then you have two perfectly measured moves down to a new low. We bounced, and I also drew a trend line off these first kind of three swings up top here, and I like the way we came back, tested it again, and turned down, and the bias and everything had been down. We had some clearly defined resistance up top, so I wasn't going to go long regardless. So I sat tight, waited to see what the second entry long would do. The entry would have been 2 ticks off the high, so that's definitely another reason why I skipped it. Turned down with the bearish bar. I liked entering there. Started going sideways a tad bit. Was a bit concerning, but when we ticked up above this bar and then started turning down, this is where I wanted to add on because I figured this might happen. But what was I talking about? Yeah, we started going sideways, tad bit concerning. I chose to stay in the trade because if you'll notice, the closes are getting lower and lower each and every single time. There's strong resistance up top here. The bias and everything has been down, and I just couldn't really see us going much higher, especially when this second trap began to fail. So all this is a trap. They trap them right here, and then they trap them again right here. So I wanted to add on. But we didn't make it out the top and the bottom on the same bar, so I went ahead and closed that one. But let me just fast forward through this so you can see the trade. But yeah, recorded this, didn't upload it because you've seen it before. It's boring. There's a second entry short right there as well. That's another reason why I liked it. But let me fast forward. But yeah, so we're going to talk about losing trades because I've been doing some thinking recently and just kind of analyzing my own performance, my own psychology, and trying to figure this stuff out because it's not easy, man. It's not easy. I mean, it's easy, but it's just not easy. I know that's kind of a contradiction, but when you start doing this and doing this for long enough, you'll really realize what I mean. But it's easy, but it's not easy. You really have to, you have to be right, and you always have to be right. And yeah, okay, so we're going to talk about losing trades. The main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I took 2 losses back to back. What day was that? The 27th. Yesterday was the 28th. Yeah, the 27th. Let me show you this chart first of all so you can see exactly what it was that I was looking at. So I went long right here, got stopped out, and then I went short right here and got stopped out again back to back. So that was minus $137.50 in like 5 minutes at the most. And that can be rattling. That can be really rattling. And what I want to talk about today is, I know you all have probably all heard this before, and that is when you're trading, you're not supposed to feel any emotions. You're supposed to be robotic, no fear, don't get upset, don't get excited. Don't feel greed. No human emotions that are natural to occur in your body at any given point throughout the day, because that's just what we're hardwired for. You need to eradicate all of those from your thought process and your being. Now, when you think about that, that is so much easier said than done. It is very hard to remain completely calm when you watch these trades go against you. It's even harder to remain completely calm when you hear that wonderful sound of stop filled. It's a great feeling, man. It's a very good feeling. So I just want to talk about what I've noticed personally from myself, and kind of some tips that I can give you guys that I found to be helpful when it comes to kind of overcoming the feelings that you feel when you're getting stopped out or when you're losing these trades. But first and foremost, let me say, yes, you need to feel absolutely nothing while you're trading. For the longest time, I couldn't even remotely conceive how that was possible, or how you can get to a point where you literally don't feel anything, especially when your money is on the line and it's being taken away from you in the blink of an eye, and it's not like you're losing $5. You can lose a lot of money in this, and I couldn't really understand how you can get to the point where, oh, you feel nothing. And honestly, I used to think it was just kind of a saying, and I didn't think it was really a reality. You know, people say, oh, I don't feel anything, but of course you feel something. No, you really have to get to the point where you feel nothing, or it becomes such a minute feeling that it literally doesn't affect anything. So, all right, let me try and get all of my thoughts and everything out without making this a 30-minute video, and just kind of organize my thoughts. But basically, I got stopped out right here, and then I got stopped out again right here. So for this trade, I was looking at this as it's a range day. We had a push down. I drew this possible trend line off these first two swings, and then when we blasted straight through it without really much regard for it, I figured, okay, it's probably not valid. This is probably our failed break lower. Now we're going to go higher. So initially I drew my trend line a tad bit steeper off these first swings. You get a break right here, push on up to a new high. I also drew an alternative trend line off these first two swings, and then you get your first entry short right here, pull back your second entry short right here. Nice looking bullish bar off the previous support for the day, the EMA, and my trend line working up. So I like that for a long. Didn't get a single tick in profit, ticked me in and stopped me out, essentially all in the same bar. Okay, no problem. Drew my trend line off those first two swings. We pull back, we get the failed second entry long. I said, okay, we're obviously going lower to retest these lows. Get short right there, ticks me in, stops me out, all in the same bar. So that's two losses back to back. I had been working on not feeling anything, and basically I pushed that out of my mind. I didn't care that I got stopped out back to back. I was down $137.50, lost that in 5 minutes, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll make it back. And that is the mentality that you need to have, guys. You literally need to feel nothing. When you lose, you need to understand that it's inevitable. It happens, it's going to happen. There's literally no way around it. Nothing in this is 100% guaranteed. There's no way that you can ensure that you're not going to lose. We don't know if these setups are going to work. All we're doing is we're playing the probabilities, and we're entering in the setups and in the areas that have the highest possible outcome of going in our direction and in our favor. And that's all you can hope for. We don't know 100% if this is going to work, but we play the odds, and we know it's more likely to work than it is to not work, and that's good enough. So you're not going to be able to get this right 100% of the time, and you need to understand that and know that it's okay. A lot of every trader loses money. I don't care how much money they make. Everybody loses money at some point in time. Everybody has losing trades. It's just a part of the game. And you just have to accept that and shake it off, and just know that if you get it right majority of the time, you'll be okay. So that's what I've been telling myself. I lost these two trades back to back, and I didn't care. Literally, I didn't care. I got stopped out right here, and then I re-entered. This bar went up, and when we started going down again, I put a limit order in there because I knew we're probably going lower. Ticked me in, I got my target, and boom, I made some of that money back. Then I shorted up top here at the high of the day, and I shorted again when we pulled back again right there, expecting to come back down to the EMA and to the other end of my trend line, and I ended the day positive. Granted, it was only positive $12, and when you factor in commissions, I lost money, But the biggest thing for me, the biggest thing that made me happy and proud and satisfied with my performance for that day is the fact that I was able to take 2 losses back to back. My first 2 trades of the day, just losses back to back, and act as though it never even happened. Literally, I treated it as though it didn't happen. I didn't care that I lost, and my mentality was, okay, no problem, you know, just keep trading, I'll make it back. And that's exactly what I did. You have to know that when you lose, it happens, and you will make it back if you just keep trading exactly how you're supposed to trade, and you don't let those losses factor into the trades that you're going to take in the future. So what I mean by that is, for me personally, what I used to do is when I would get stopped out in a particular scenario, next trade would come around, I'd be hesitant, I'd be scared, I'd be too scared to enter because I'd be thinking about, oh, what if I'm wrong? I just lost $87. This is a full 2-point stop. If I get stopped out right here, then that's minus $187. That means I have to win 4 times on a single contract just to break even and make a profit. Like, blah, blah, blah. No, man, you cannot think like that. You cannot think like that. Don't get me wrong. You still need to be aware of where you will stand and measure your risk accordingly, but you can't let that dictate how you're trading, because you're going to make mental errors, and that's going to cause you to continue losing. You have to forget about every trade you took in the past. If you just won, forget about it. If you just lost, forget about it. Focus on the next trade, period. That's it. Focus on what is occurring right now and the next trade. Treat each and every trade as an individual, and don't worry about what happened in the past. If you've been winning, don't worry about that. If you've been losing, don't worry about it. You just have to focus on whether or not you're reading the chart correctly, whether or not you're following your rules, and whether or not this is a good setup that you should be taking, and if the odds are in your favor. If that's what you're doing and that's what you're focusing on, you're most likely going to win a lot more than you lose. And the few times you do get it wrong, don't worry about it, because you know you're going to make it back up in the future. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Hopefully that's helpful to you guys. I know that you've probably all heard this before, but when you get to a point when you really feel nothing when you're trading this stuff, your trading goes to a whole nother level, because it's a different thought process. It's a different it's like unleashing the beast. The people who are the best at this are the ones that don't care. I know that probably doesn't make that much sense, because obviously they care, but they're the ones that don't care. They understand how this market works. They understand the nature of the game. They're not emotional. They're not chasing money. They're not upset when they lose money. They're not excited when they make money. They're simply, it's a job, it's a task, it's a skill, it's a predatory sport, and they know the rules of engagement, essentially. So you have to get to a point where you literally feel nothing, and you're able to be completely unfazed by everything that happens, and just strictly stick to what it is that you should be doing, following your rules, taking the right setups, knowing when and where and how to take them without being fazed by anything that's occurring. And that's so much easier said than done, but when you get to the point and you do this for long enough, you can do it. And oh man, yeah, it'll help. It'll really help. But that was just my piece. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to lose money and make it back, to tell you the truth. It feels really good to lose a couple trades and consecutively, and then just put your head down, keep trading and trading correctly, and make it all back. That's a good feeling. That's when you really know that you're getting somewhere, because I used to lose money and then just end the day on a losing day, period. You lose one trade, or you win 2 trades and then you lose one, then you lose another one, then boom, all your money's gone for the day. You're pissed off. You come back the next day and you're scared, thinking about how you lost, then you start off that next day losing again. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. That's not the way to go. Just forget about it, study it, figure out why you lost, and just know that it's a part of the game. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. There was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Let me get this crap out of the way so you guys don't have to look at that. But what did I want to talk about? Yeah, I was in the car with my friend yesterday, and we were talking about trading, and basically, where was it? Yeah, I was talking about like how I'll hear Max say sometimes, like, oh, I had somebody send me an email today, and they said, oh, I'm taking all these second entries and they keep failing. Why are these failing? This doesn't work. What you have to understand is that the rules, the rules are just tools, man. Like, nobody can really teach you how to trade. That's what you need to realize first and foremost. Nobody can really teach you how to trade. All they can do is give you technically a guideline and a blueprint for how you should be thinking, what it is that you should be looking for. But at the end of the day, it's something that you have to figure out on your own through experience. So the rules that we have, the second entries, the failed second entries, the trend lines, the retests, those things are merely tools that you use in conjunction with a bunch of different nuances when it comes to this market. So you can memorize the rules and you can go out and you'll still lose. You'll still lose consistently. You're not going to make money. I can promise you that. What you need to do is you need to spend the time genuinely figuring out on your own what the market does, why it does it, and what is going on. There's so many different pieces, there's so many different nuances to this that it really can't be taught. Nobody can explain it to you. I mean, they can give you overall hints when it comes to the context. Things like when you come off one end of your trend line, you're going to go to the other end of your trend line. You're going to get a retest here. One side of the range, you go to the other side of the range. They can give you stuff like that, which is ultimately going to expedite the overall process. But when it comes to doing this, it's something that really has to be learned on your own. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it can be taught. I think that they can give you the blueprint, sort of like directions. Okay, so let's say you're having a race or something. You're racing someone to a certain destination and you have a rough outline of, okay, you want to make a left turn here, a right turn here, you're going to go straight at this place for X amount of miles. They can give you the rough outline, which is the rules, but they can't tell you exactly when you need to brake, how hard you need to step on the gas, the right angle that you need to hit the turn at. Those are things that you have to learn on your own, and the only way you're going to learn that is through practice and through experience. Nobody can tell you exactly how to do that. And I think that's what people don't understand when they first come into this. They read the manual, they go out, they start taking second entries, and they wonder why they work sometimes and why they don't work other times. It's because nothing is set in stone, and there's so many different nuances that are used all together that you need to figure out on your own when it comes to this trading stuff, because there are trades that will work on range days that won't work on trend days. There's trades that'll work on trend days that won't work on range days. You have to be able to adapt and adjust, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is by doing this for a long time and figuring out exactly how this stuff works. And I don't think that can be taught. I really don't. It's great that we have the rules, it's great that we have the outline for it, but don't put so much hope and expectation into just that as it is. Second entries and failed second entries, that stuff is only going to take you so far. If you don't understand the context of it, it's really not going to take you anywhere. That probably, honestly, you probably won't even be able to get 30-40% of the time wins if you're just taking second entries and failed second entries and not understanding what's going on. You really need to understand exactly why the market does what it does, and then be able to tame your emotions and everything if you want to do this properly. But I've said way too much. I don't know how long I've been talking for, but yeah, that's it, guys. I just kind of wanted to talk about trading psychology. Hopefully I wasn't too repetitive, didn't repeat myself too many times, but I don't have any notes. I'm just shooting from the hip and just kind of trying to spill out the things that I've been thinking about recently, and that is, don't let these losers phase you. When you lose, literally act like it didn't even happen. Don't worry about the money, just focus on getting it right, period. Don't think about it, just focus on getting it right. Don't let it frazzle your trading, don't let it make you second guess yourself, don't let it make you hesitate. Just try and get it right, and your outcome will be a whole lot more positive. I'm telling you, you'll do a lot better if you don't focus on that loss that you just took. And just understand that it's a part of the game. And for all you new people out there, when it comes to the rules and the second entries, yeah, that's a big part of it, but you really have to work on understanding what's going on in the market and understanding all of the little nuances when it comes to this stuff. And I was actually looking at some of my charts. Let me show you what I mean when I say certain things will work in certain scenarios and they won't work in others. Where was it? It was today. Okay, so look at this short that I have marked right here. Basically, you get your new high, you get your first entry long, your second entry long. It doesn't fail until right here. So you can short that if you'd like. You're at the highs of your range, okay? Look at this setup, and now look at this setup. Where is it? This is essentially the same setup. You get your first entry long, your second entry long, and then it fails. Alright, it fails right there and we go lower, but we still go higher. You have to understand why it's okay to short it in... This probably isn't the most ideal thing to be flipping back and forth, but you have to understand why it's okay to short it in this scenario and why it doesn't work trying to short it in this scenario. Alright, look at these highs. This is the high of the day. So the problem with trying to go short right here is that it's a range day, there's an uptrend, and you're not at the high of the day. Alright, so basically all you want to do in this situation is you want to look to get long, and then when it fails and turns down again, you want to hop in that thing long again. There's a trend line working up. You're not at the highs of your range, and that's all part of context. That's all part of different nuances, because essentially this setup looks the same. Look at this, and then look at this. It's almost looks the same. You're at the EMA, you're going higher, you have a couple attempts to go higher, and then you turn down and you fail. The problem is, this is at the high of the day, so you don't want to get long into that. The only thing you want to do is wait for a failed breakout, or you want to wait till this fails and then short it. So that's why this short works and the other one does not, and you would have gotten stopped out. But stuff like that is what I mean when I say different nuances and all that. I don't care if you can count entries, if you can take second entries, fail second entries. If you don't understand that, you're not going to get this, and it takes a while to understand that. But I've been talking for way too long. Maybe next time I'll write out some notes. Hopefully this video doesn't suck. Hopefully you guys are still listening, but that's it. I'm gonna get in my bed and try and go to sleep. It's hot in here now. It's 3:30 in the morning. This is JR. That was my soapbox, and leave your comments down below. Let's talk about this. How do you guys who have been doing this for a while, how do you cope with losing and all that stuff? So yeah, maybe we can have a little active discussion down in the comment section. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you had a good week. Yeah, I'll see you sometime next week.